You're still watching This Morning on ITV, and this time around we are talking insecurity. We all know that the country is still struggling with different security challenges, ranging from banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, name it, armed robbery, whatever kind, ritual killing, Yahoo 419, known as 419, that's internet fraudsters, and all of that. All manner of insecurity has bedeviled this country, and we cannot say that the government is not doing or trying its best. The government is making efforts to ensure that the country is rid of insecurity. Just recently, the service chiefs were replaced by popular demand, because that has been the call from Nigerians that they should be replaced. So they have been replaced, and we have new service chiefs, and we also have we saw where the Shegumi also went to Zamfara. He had an interaction with bandits. All these things that are happening, how are they going to lead to curbing insecurity in Nigeria? We are going to be looking at the role of stakeholders in tackling insecurity in Nigeria. You are a stakeholder, I am a stakeholder, every Nigerian is a stakeholder, because Nigeria is the only country that we have. And to discuss this matter with me in the studio, I have Jonathan Isaac. He is a security expert. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, my sister.
We're still talking insecurity, and we know we will never get tired as long as we are being faced with these security challenges. First of all, I would like to hear your thoughts on the new service chiefs that we have. What is your take on this replacement?
Well, congratulations to the new service chiefs, and I wish them well. I also believe that they will do more, better, and we believe that the models they are going to adopt is not the usual models that their predecessors have been using, which is just like an egg in the hands of these banditries that they can crack at any time. So we believe that they are going to do better. But the only issue with the appointment of Mr. President is that, you see, I have an issue with who is the defense and who is the chief of army staff. There should be a need for you to put people in the right position, so you believe in their competency, their capacity to deliver. Because once you take A to B and B to A, there's a mix-up. So I believe that you should put people who have been tested and been trusted with certain positions, so that when they are delivering service, you believe that they are giving Nigerians what you have tested them to be. So that's the way I see it, because I can see from the defense chief of defense, it should be coordinating the service chiefs, but in Nigeria, somehow it is not that way. I can see it's not that way, because if it had been that way, so many things would have not gone wrong. The chief of defense staff, I feel if I am Mr. President, he should be the chief of army staff.
Okay, that is your feeling.
That's just my opinion.
Okay, but do you see them okay, fine. You said people should be placed, people should be given positions, people that have been tried and trusted in the past, but people will tell you that this men, they have been in the service for as long as they've been there. So don't you think they are qualified? They will also
yeah, just like you just mentioned, people have been in service, but let me just bring the popular saying: you went to youth service corps, that if you went to serve, and during your parade or POP, you see some people as your tondos. We properly call it tondo because of what they have. They don't have the capacity to meet up with the normal parades, the skills in the camp, and not all of them. They all graduated, but some of them were just behind and we are just clapping. That they have been in service for years does not guarantee some of these people that they are professional enough to handle certain positions. There are some, I don't want to mention it, but I know in the same appointment, some persons have been taken to the theater, and I believe me, they came out and could not deliver. But I know of the person I am talking about, who Nigerians have applauded, his ruggedity, his doggedness, and his steadfastness in the field. people like that should be given position to, to demonstrate what they are made of. But when you just get some certain positions, it just make you feel relaxed, and what is in you cannot be demonstrated because you are not there to give out that result you are used to be.
There's this saying that when insecurity is tackled, there could be lasting peace. There would be lasting peace.
Of course.
Now, would you see the visit of the Sheikh to bandits in Zamfara as part of the peace process?
Well,
can it be said to be part of the peace process?
We thank God that the government has not denied that the people who have been killing our brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers in the southwest, in the northeast, are anonymous. It then means that there are people who are responsible. They have been discussing with these people. Even in Nasarawa State, from the governor's forum some years back, they discussed with these bandits. And when you have people you're relating with, that means there's an interest of individuals. And it is these interests that have crawled us to where we are. Now, discussing with them or not discussing with them at this point could be good, could still be bad. It depends on the interest of the individuals who are responsible for this mayhem on Nigerians. So it could be a good stop, but in the wrong direction. If the citizens are not addressed, if the citizens are not carried along in their own discussion, believe me, the discourse with these boys or with these guys will end no result. It is when the citizens are carried along, the indigenes are being carried along, that will give us a lasting solution to national peace, security.
Okay, what would be your assessment of the past discussions with these bandits, with the past negotiations? We know that there was a time the governor of Katsina State had talks with them on how to live peacefully. The same goes with Zamfara. Zamfara is still doing it, and you just mentioned Nasarawa State. So how will you assess the results so far?
Well, it's a laughable situation that you can discuss with people and you can get those people. You discuss with people, you can get the people. And it does what it means now is that means that people are responsible, people knows those that are responsible, and people knows the address of people that are responsible. Once you know a thing, it is one way, half solved. If you know that those people are responsible for this and that, why not end the discussion once and for all? Why should we continue in dialogue? Yes, dialogue, certain times dialogue leads to the lasting peace of security, but not when a dialogue becomes occasional, becomes seasonal. When interest is there, the dialogue. But once interest is lost, we have people, look at the Chibok girls, up to date, some of the parents are still undergoing trauma. Does that mean that we can dialogue with those who carry out these actions? Because interest is lost. Because once interest is there, the dialogues continue. For me, dialogue should be left out to civil society organizations, should be left to the media. When you see fruitful dialogues, when you see transparent dialogues, that means that there's these collaborations that the government or whoever is dialoguing is innocent entirely. Why is it that whenever it happened, it must be the government or the governor or somebody to the governor that always dialogue with those people? There's an interest that we need to come out, and once this interest is there, the dialogues continue. We need to end this dialogue in one light so that our people can be free of this sentimental dialogue and debate that is, to me, unreasonable to Nigerians.
When you talk about ending the dialogue once and for all, what exactly are you talking about?
The dialogue in the sense, to end the dialogue, we must kill our personal greed. We must kill our interest. We must know that power is for the people, And the responsibility of a government, being a state, local government, or federal, is the protections of lives and properties. If we carried everything that what we owe today is for the people, we come to realize that a single soul in the state that is maybe killed by the banditry, Boko Haram, or the ISWAP, or whatever names there may be, touches the heart, and we are accountable to God at the end of the day. We're definitely going to change our tactics of deliberations and dialogue, that the time to be dialogue. The time is dialogue, because when things continue to go this way and the government or some persons in government is benefiting from it, believe me, the dialogues continue and lingered for years. Not until the people come to understand that we are accountable to one person at the end of the day, and one soul in a state, either in Borno State or in your state, means a lot to the government. We will still continue in this dialogue. So people need to change and end this dialogue. Is that we should kill our greed, we should kill our selfishness. We must understand that whatever wealth that is acquired on the basis of other people's debt will definitely not go well with our families.
You know, we have been talking about one Nigeria as far as I can remember. I grew up hearing one Nigeria, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. But people will still tell you that Nigeria is not one due to certain things that are happening. For instance, even in the same community, you see people, simply because we are not from the same clan, you see we have communal clashes in different states, in the same state. Some, they are interstate clashes. My question is, why do you think what do you think is responsible for Nigeria not being this one Nigeria in true sense of the word up till now?
If you look at this course this morning, we are talking about the stakeholders, the roles of stakeholders in Nigeria to restore peace. And let me be sincere with you. Government is called across all levels. Nigerians, or whichever level we find ourselves, we are all stakeholders in our own country, especially in restoring peace and nation building. It's unfortunate that most of these stakeholders are the causes of the problems we are facing today. Let me take you back to the rural communities, where the chief they see the chief or traditional rulers, they see them like a god in the state, you know. And these traditional rulers have acquired so much powers that instead of them to use this power and their wealth in the right perspective that will yield good governance, they rather throw it to incitement, provoking mindset, and against each other within the same state because of interest. You can see a traditional ruler just come up with a statement that so community is saying this, and we are not going to take it, instead of a dialogue, instead of going under and see how to just make
it looks as if we are going back to the feudal years.
That is what is even happening in our current days, because people are still taking that selfish background. People are still there because of not because of the people, because of themselves. So when such incitement start coming up, you see the citizen, the indigenes fighting against themselves. And this thing that they're doing, you will come to understand that even the stakeholders we talked about, some of them in Abuja, in Lagos, cut across the state, even in overseas, sent money, donate money to their own community. What are they doing? To get weapons, to fight against themselves. That means that they destroy themselves again. You understand it? So it is we changing our mindset. Our problem is not, we don't need to agree. We don't need to agree, because certainly we will not agree. But it is natural we will not agree, but still we need to respect our culture. We still need to respect ourselves, so that we can build the mankind that we want to be. Because if you leave it for the indigenes alone, the way it is, some of the stakeholders, like I talked about, the traditional rulers, they have already divided the state because of what? Ethnicity. Not just because of ethnicity. Some of them for religion, land dispute, they're already killing themselves. Just nothing that they will take from earth. The chief is already saying this, and when they get to the paramount ruler, he look at the two sides of the coin and see which of them will benefit him. He goes the other way. So also we need to look at it. The stakeholders we mentioned about, I think civil society organizations, the media, and so also the traditional rulers, religious leaders, they need to put their hands on the decks to ensure that peace is being restored, because honestly you cannot use arm to fight and also to get peace. The best tools in getting peace is addressing the situations through dialogue.
There are instances or platforms where some persons have attributed the continuous rancors, continuous insecurity, lack of peace in the country to Nigeria's return to democracy. Now I would like you to I would like to ask you, do you share in this sentiment that democracy has done more harm than good to Nigeria?
I will
in
not,
in terms of peace,
I will not
unity,
accept with that. You see, the world is a global village. If you check around the world today, the system of government that is most benefiting, acceptable, and also I can say benefiting the citizen.
So will you say in this case is beneficial to Nigerians?
Well, it's not in all governments. There are governments that it benefits, that it will benefit the citizens when citizens are being carried along as it's supposed to be, and when police are policing the citizen in the way it should be, when the center is not interfering with the welfare of the people. You know, democracy will have its way to the limelight, because what we are seeing today, we have not come to the peak of democracy. We have just
still in nascent
yes, where we are trying to, you know, manage this from this so that we will come standing. You know, take American for instance. You see the system of their democracy, regardless of whatever has happened in recent times, democracy still remains democracy. You see that they benefit from democracy more. And it is this system of government that the world have come to understand, except for autocratic individuals or government who don't want to agree with democracy because of their, you know, their belief. So I think democracy in Nigeria has not done any harm. It is just the way it's being practiced, and the individuals we voted into power. I think this is where democracy in Nigeria is just taking us backward, instead of getting more views of more visions into the future. Because of the current situation we find ourselves, democracy seems to be affecting Nigeria, but not to say it is worst or causing more harm. It is the individuals that is not trying to adopt the policies.
Okay, the democracy itself is a word, and it requires people to bring it into fruition to make it applicable.
Yes.
So when people don't see this result, do you think they will still believe what you're saying now, that the word democracy itself does not have an issue as regards to Nigeria as the people?
Well, you see, like I was saying, democracy has not totally been damaged or like be cut off from Nigeria. Take for instance, the old people said democracy is what the people, is just like what the voice of the people are saying. Nigerians came out recently and said, come, we don't want SACS because of this and that. And it comes to be that SACS no more. It's a voice of the people. If it is not democracy, it will not come to be. And recently we see people being probed for one thing or the other. It is still democracy. If it's not democracy, it will not come to be. What you and I enjoy today partially, it is still what? Democracy. So and even the insurgents that is still ongoing, it is still democracy. Wow. It has its own bad, it has its own good. Democracy has a lot of of sacrifice to pay. So until we are able to win this, even America, you see today, they went through a lot of things. They did not just come out today and tell you because we are a great nation. They fight a lot of things. They have been able to conquer, and that is why democracy came to be. All the process of banditry, these are part of democracy. After we have been able to win this, democracy will come to stand.
Nigeria has been in democracy for returned to democracy for over 20 years now. And my worry is how long will it take because we still call it nascent democracy. So how long is it going to be before we pull out from this nascent democracy and get to the next level?
Well, I think the level
if you have to put number of years,
the level we found ourselves should be the second last phase of nascent democracy,
so
because
we expect the next level,
and after which
things will normalize.
Things will normalize for democracy to come to stay proper.
Even with this wide division amongst Nigerians,
I believe that it is still achievable if we agree our mindset is changed. And like I said, that is where the civil society organizations need to come to practice. Come to stay. The government also need to partner. Not this paper partnership. They need to have this mind and body into souls and spirit into something they're doing with civil society organizations, the media house, and the traditional rulers, by which time these bodies agree to come together and be on the round table addressing so many issues that is affecting the country. Gradually you see that the voice of the people, because the traditional rulers comes with his people, the voice of his people, the media comes with the report he has gotten, and also the civil societies come with the complaints he has gotten from various groups. These are where things will be tendered, and before you know, address issues, and they come out with result.
You've touched on the role of the traditional rulers in promoting peace. What would you say as regards to the role of clergies in promoting peace? Would you say they have been doing enough to ensure to promote peace?
No, like I said, I will not spare the religious leaders, because certain utterances because of religion and all of that. One thing I understand is that I may not agree with you completely, but I should have that reserve for accepting you, for accommodating you. It is because of these rejections that we find ourselves where we are. The religious leaders, the clergymen, most times are also cause of the problem because of inciting statement, provoking mindset to engage in war. You see some pastors come on the stage and say, go and do this, and this is inciting, provoking mindset of individuals, and some people who their faith is not strong take their pastors like they are the God they are seeing. There's no bad thing accepting that your pastor replicates your God in whatever forms you want it to be, but to me, you should also have a direct access to the God you serve from your mind, and say, to be able to to mitigate these problems of go do this and go do that. They cause problems because of division. They have not been able to accept that you are brothers, we are your sisters, we are one people, regardless of ethnicity, tribe, and religion. We should see ourselves as one people, and that's where Nigerian can stand, because there are religious leaders and the body also can. I think recently come to understanding that one of the way to get the peace, lasting peace, is through negotiations. When things happen, you see some of the bodies coming to fight, and Khan will say, hold on, we are addressing the situations, we are going, and some of them say, Khan is not doing anything. All the time they say we are addressing the situation, they know what they're doing. They go through dialogue to ensure that this thing does not escalate beyond the level it is. And government don't need to look at their plea for stupidity, because they have an option, because that option will also create another problem. That is why they have refused to go to that option. So it is also from the religious leaders, the way their utterances is inciting, their incitement, and sometimes they should see a way. Because for me, if I'm a Muslim and I go to church, and if you're a Christian and I go to Muslim, it's very, very funny. If a Muslim brother is having a child dedication and invite a Christian, it's very funny for the Christian brother to say, I'm going to the mosque. And also, if the brothers, the Muslim brothers, will say, I'm going to the church, it's just rare, but some did. It's rare, but some do it. Until we start seeing ourselves that we are one people, then we can also look at it that we should become one. And once we are one, peace will be restored automatically.
But some persons have said that politicians are bent on ensuring that Nigerians are not one.
Well, yes. Why we agree with you is, yes, no. Some politicians, not all politicians.
Many.
Some politicians.
Okay, you mean they have few?
Yeah, we have few politicians who are in that. And I like analyzing politicians, that the people who God have sent to deliver or are sent to represent their people.
God.
Yes, that's the way I see them. Because when you go through your Bible, you said the Good Samaritan, they said a clergyman passed, isn't it? So in that divination, there's no clergyman again as to be a good Samaritan. They say a clergyman passed. They did not define which church the clergyman served. They just say a clergy, and he passed and he left. You understand it? Now in the modern day, who do you think we have that capacity to carry somebody, take to hospital, pay the bills, feed the person, and also drop some change? It should be coming from philanthropists, business, and also politicians.
So if I understand you correctly, the politicians should now take the position of the Good Samaritan.
Of the Good Samaritans. That's the politicians to take the positions and take advantage of this, yes, of the Good Samaritans.
Are you telling them to take, you are saying that is what
that is what should be their position, in as much that some of them have taken this opportunity to do negative things. I believe that most of them who are doing the right thing will get their reward in heaven. That should be their position. They should be sitting in heaven with God at the last day. But unfortunately, the citizens also contribute to why the attitude of the politicians are like that.
Why would you say that?
Yes, why I would say that is, look, some of the citizens, because of party affiliations, because of tribe,
because of hunger also.
Yes, most time hunger contributes, and because of selfish reasons. They go about selling themselves. And because they have sold themselves so cheap, the politicians have no choice than to take advantage of these conflicts between them to remain in power. And when it is after 4 years, he comes again to get this and to get that, and he returns back again. So you see, politicians are also contributing. When you talk about the stakeholders, politicians are not out of it. Politicians are also part of the stakeholders. So it depends on who is in that position. For me, I have a good representative in the House of Reps and also in the Senate, and they are doing pretty good. In as much that the conflict, the banditry, and the hostage taking and kidnapping everywhere, they have also been able to preach peace to the people, trying to negotiate the ways and also to see possible means of getting out of this situation, quagmire we find ourselves. So we need to balance the whole thing. Politicians, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and the police, they are also major stakeholders in policing our society. It is the reason why we find ourselves like this is that police have deficit trust. Because of this deficit trust, they have not been able to tap the potentials of the citizens. Because for any security agencies who have refused to acknowledge the potentials, the intelligence of the natives, such security are in a doomsday.
No, but they do, because most times when they make arrests, they'll tell you that they got help from from the natives, from people in a particular area, that they got information from them, except that it is not forthcoming as it should, just maybe because of the trust issue that you just talked about. People are not really free to trust them the way they should. But we've seen reports where they will actually attribute their successes of arrest to information they got from a community.
Is there a feedback mechanism in that? Was there a I mean, after an arrest is made through maybe a young boy in a local area gave information, this and that, and is there a guarantee for the safety of this young man,
of
the informant?
Well,
sometime these people lead these boys to their fate. At the same time, they equally sell these people to the criminals for giving out information. So, like I said, police have a huge deficit of trust with the indigents or the constituents. So until this trust is regained, the policing the society is still not going to be achievable. You need to, meet up with the citizens. And like I said, is there a feedback mechanism when these people are arrested? Because a lot of Boko Haram insurgents have been arrested in the past, and what we had is that they granted a repentant. And my question is, did they go through the paro system, the radicalization, and if they went through all this process, what kind of paro system did they adopt? Is it the full paro or the discretionary paro?
I must go through your thoughts. I'll take that as the last word.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
A topic for another day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Look into well, we've been discussing promoting peace, the role of stakeholders. Like I said, everybody is a stakeholder in terms of promoting peace, tackling insecurity. Because when we have tackled insecurity, many people believe, I also believe, that we are going to have lasting peace. When you know that you can go to bed with your eyes closed, nothing is going to happen to you. When you know that you can trust your neighbor not to give out information concerning you to anybody that will come in to kidnap you or kidnap any of your loved ones, then you will begin to have a free mind towards your neighbor and will begin to live freely the way we are supposed to. I have been talking to Jonathan Isaac. He is a security expert. We will be taking a short break, and when we return, the program this morning on ITV continues. Please stay tuned.